Good morning, third grade. Happy May. May 1st, a whole new month of opportunities and chances. Our Prom and Pride theme is courage, and I'll be talking to you about that probably on Monday. I'll have something up about what courage is and what courage looks like and how you can practice it even at home. So today we are going to read Chapter 26, Never Laugh at a Shoelace. A shoelace. This is a shoelace, said Mac. Should have known. Everybody laughed. Mac was standing in front of the room, holding a shoelace in his hand. He felt like a fool. What a fool, said Allison. It started a minute earlier when Miss Nogard asked, who has something to share for show and tell? But first you should know something about Mac. Mac's favorite subject in the entire world is show and tell. He loved it, especially when he was the one doing the showing and the telling. He often looked through garbage cans on his way to school in search of stuff to show and tell about. Once he found a real gushy love letter. It was covered with something that looked like peach slime, but that wasn't what made it gushy. The gushy part was what was written in the letter. Mac read it to the class with lots of feeling. So when Miss Nogard said, who has something for show and tell, Mac reacted without thinking. His arm shot up like a rocket as he almost jumped out of his seat. Oh, 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 he groaned. And then he remembered something. I didn't bring anything for show and tell. Miss Nogard had heard him. Before he could lower his hand, she called on him. And that's how he ended up, with a shoelace dangling from his hand like a dead worm. It came from my sneaker, said, he took off his sneaker and held it up next to his shoelace. See, you stick the laces through the little holes here and then tie it in a bow, and that keeps it from falling off your foot. Duh, said Dana. We know what a shoelace is, said Paul. I've been tying my shoes since I was 2 years old, said Joe. Calvin and Bebe booed. Sit down, said Jason. You're boring. The kids in Mrs. Jules' class had never used to be so mean. But they had been getting grumpier and grumpier ever since Miss Nogard took over. Put your shoe back on, said Maurice. Your foot stinks. Mac felt terrible. Miss Nogard smiled. Go on, Mac, she said. We're all very interested to hear what you have to say. He tried to think of some way to make a shoelace interesting. Shoelaces are real important, he said. There was once this guy, he was a real fast runner. His name was Howard Speed. He was the fastest runner in the world, but this was back before shoelaces were invented. So every time Howard raced, he ran right out of his shoes. Nobody seemed very impressed, but then Rodney asked, did it hurt his feet? Max shrugged. I guess, he said. I once stubbed a toe on a rock, said Stephen. It hurt. Yeah, and you didn't run as fast as Howard Speed, said Mac. He could run so fast that if he kicked a rock, it would break his toe. Did he have blisters? Asked Todd. Mac smiled. Man, he had the biggest blisters you ever saw in your whole life. Bleeding blisters. Ooh, said Joe and John together. With pus oozing out, said Mac. Oh, gross, said Dana wide-eyed. Everyone was paying close attention to Mac. Wherever Howard went, Mac said, he left a trail of bloody footprints. Cool, said Terrence. And so they had to invent something to keep Howard's sneakers on his feet, said Mac. First, they tried nailing shoes to his feet. Yowza, exclaimed Bebe. Why didn't he just use Velcro? Asked Jason. Howard lived in Africa, explained Mac. Velcro trees only grow in Australia. So then they tried gluing the shoes to his feet. And that seemed to work, but then whenever he took off his shoes, like to take a bath or something, he peeled off a layer of skin. Yuckola, shrieked Allison. But finally, Thomas Edison invented a shoelace, and Howard never ran out of his shoes again. Did he win all of the races after that? Asked John. Well, said Mac, the next race was for the championship of the whole world. Howard got off to a real fast start, and it looked like he would win for sure, but shoelaces were still a new invention, and Howard wasn't quite used to them yet. Right before he reached the finish line, his shoelace came untied. He tripped over it and fell flat on his face. He broke his nose, lost all of his teeth, and had 2 black eyes. Wow, said all 3 Erics together. So remember, said Mac, as he held his shoelace high in the air, never laugh at his shoelace. Everyone applauded. See, that took courage. Mac was afraid. He was up there. He didn't know what to do. Didn't know what to say. He had forgotten about show and tell. But he just kept trying. It showed perseverance and a little bit of courage. Because if he didn't have courage, he would have just kind of stopped talking. Okay? So try to think about a way that maybe you could show courage today. Maybe this weekend. And I'll talk to you more about it on Monday. All right? See you guys later.